Happy Monday, y'all. Welcome back. This is Father Mark, and this week we are unpacking Matthew chapter 13 and the parable of the weeds and the wheat. Today we want to jump right in and ask the question that a lot of us are asking, which is about those weeds. Why is it that God allows the weeds? Why is it that God allows evil? Well, the only way that we can understand evil is if we look at it through the lens of good, and the only way to understand good is to look at it through the lens of God. And what we know about God is that God is love. Love is not what God does. Love is who God is. And as you and I were made in the image and likeness of God, you and I were made in the image and likeness of love. We were made for love. We have the capacity for love. And that means that you and I also have been given the gift of free will. Free will is the freedom in our heart to say yes to God or to reject God. And that's what sin is. Sin is the rejection of God. And there are consequences to sin in the world. There are consequences to my sin, and there are consequences to your sin. Evil exists in the world because God has to give us the gift of free will so that we are free to choose Him and free to choose love. It's also important for us to remember the parable of the weeds and the wheat. And that as Jesus was teaching the reality of evil in the world, the reality of those weeds growing right next to the wheat, that he also reminded his listeners that he is more powerful than evil, which is a word of encouragement to you. If any of us today are facing the weeds of life, if you're facing evil in the world or circumstances that seem beyond your control, be encouraged and reminded that God is real. He's really active in your life. And the key is to turn toward Him and to continue to turn toward Him no matter what we face in life. Come on back tomorrow and we'll talk about 3 dangers of living life with expectations. But until we see you, God bless you.